All right, Ryan Preece. Good to have you, buddy.
Ernest.
It's been a while. How long have we known each other?
You know, I thought about this.
Yeah?
Before I was coming here, I met you for the first time. There was like some southern guy walking around the tour pit area.
Oh, yeah.
And
they all
like
call me an asshole.
I don't know what they called you, but like,
Yeah.
so being from Connecticut and Long Island, the whole thing, we could tell you were different.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you came up all respectful at
Yeah.
first, the whole thing, and then we figured out that you missed your calling of being up with us because you blended right in.
That's so true. That's so true.
In the long run. So,
yeah. I didn't learn how to be an asshole until I went to the north.
Truth.
It's true.
Was the first time, so I was thinking about this, though, was the first time I actually met you at Atlantic City with Teddy.
Man, it's very possible. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So, I think my first modified situation was Teddy, New Smyrna. Mm-hmm. Or it's actually Lime Rock. He ran off the track or something the following year, which might have been the last race at Lime Rock, right?
Was it 2011?
Probably.
I didn't have a ride that year.
Yeah? How come?
Because, so that was the year. The beginning of 2011, I was racing. It was CD, like.
Yep.
Was it 2011? Yeah, it was 2011. And I started off the first three races, and that was when the economy took like a big hit a few years before.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Things got financially really tough. I remember having to make the call, like saying, hey, we're stepping back.
Right.
Like, I did it for my father.
Yeah,
like, I couldn't stand to see it anymore. So that was where my father, we ended up doing three races with like a startup team in a way. Mike Paquette with the CD and another guy, you know, John Lucas Savage. He actually bought the car, the motor, the whole thing at the beginning, and it just became too tough. But we ended up doing a few races with my father's car, running really good at the end of the season, which led up to everything, getting that Flamingo ride that you and I met through.
Yeah, so where I was going with that is, I think it was the last race at Lime Rock. I'm not sure. But the following year was going into New Smyrna Speed Weeks.
Okay.
So with Teddy.
When I got wrecked?
That's when you and Teddy. Well, I'm not picking sides here. I'm just saying it's Grandpa.
It's Grandpa.
Don't fuck with Grandpa. Look at him.
Me and Grandpa, me and Teddy.
It's a pretty intense week down there, right?
I'm going to be respectful right now because I have a lot of respect for that guy.
100%.
Even though we all, I'm sure he said some things about me, when he would call you. But Teddy...
He actually never did.
Oh, well,
I'll vouch for that.
Now I feel like a jerk.
No. It's all good.
Kidding.
Like we all know Grandpa's rough. We all get it.
Well, you do what you have to do to win races.
And he did that.
And I respect that.
He did
because
that.
At the end of the day, so Doug Kobe is, I'm going to start dropping names left and right here. Doug Kobe told me a long time ago, because I cared too much, what it took to win races. Like, I feel bad. If I don't wreck you and I do what I need to do to win that race, you bring your friends to the racetrack with you, right?
100%.
That's it.
All day.
That's it. So that's what it comes down to. So I learned a lot of things from Teddy on that respect. But
in that week, right?
Week. Oh, yeah. So actually, when we wrecked that night, my dad told me to this day, like when I was younger, he didn't tell me all that stuff. But when we went down there, like we couldn't afford to wreck. Wasn't going to happen. If we wrecked, we had to go. Well, night one... It was pretty hard wreck, too. Yeah, it was a bad wreck. It was a front clip. It was the whole thing. Yeah. Night one, sponsor said, hey, you're here because we came down early. We never used to go for practice day, and we never used to race on Friday night.
Oh, I see.
You're here. I'll buy you tires. Race the race. So my dad's like, all right, we'll race it. We had a Bass race car. Rolling the top, ripping.
And that was your father's car, right?
That was my father's car. And... that thing was always fast, and we're going around the top of Teddy, and he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't mean to stuff me, but the right rear snapped out, got my left front, takes off into the fence.
It was a very vicious hit.
It was bad. I remember I don't remember how I was on the back stretch, but I remember my dad going over there on the quad, running to the window net, like, ready.
Well, I remember. I know how you were on the back stretch.
I don't remember.
Because you got out of the car, which is still
Did I run around?
It's still half. No, you ran across the pits.
Okay, I ran across the pits.
You were like Usain Bolt across the pits, right? That's his name, right? Usain Bolt?
I don't know. Yeah.
The running guy. Yeah. Okay. Like you were like him across the pits.
Oof. Yeah.
Like,
good thing you remember. I know.
It was pretty funny. And then a couple days later, you wrecked him back, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I got him
Let's
back
talk about that
in
one.
my grandfather's car.
Oh.
I think it was my grandfather's car. So it was Sunday. I didn't wreck him intentionally. Something broke.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Yeah. So
But-
this is the same as, yeah, never mind,
No.
go ahead.
So we went with my grandfather's car, and he got this car. I forgot who he got it from, whatever. And it was a home-built motor. Like, I remember I'd go to my grandfather's shop every year at New Smyrna, like come to it was in Edgewater, but we'd go to his shop. He had an engine working room. Like, he built the motor, the whole thing. It was down on horsepower, big time. So we put a big carburetor on it for practice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were going out. We were going to make sure that we were...
Well, that's legal at New Smyrna anyway, right?
I don't cheat. I do
agree with
not
that.
cheat. I will not, like, I remember I said to somebody one time and they wanted to do something and I was like, no, I don't need to cheat to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to New Smyrna, we unload, we do the deal.
Yeah.
We go off for practice and like the motor's pretty good. Like I was like, man, this thing's got some snot. Well, all of a sudden Brooksie, and Brooksie's pretty famous up there in New Smyrna, comes running up, let me check that carburetor. And I'm like, I'm still young.
Right.
And my
How old
dad
are you then? You're pretty young.
I was 20. I mean, I'm not young, but I'm young enough.
Well, the standards today are much different than were then. Not
20
that wasn't
was
very long
15,
ago, but yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially in the modifieds. I mean, modifieds, if you were under 25, like that was pretty young.
For sure.
know? So Brooksie comes up and says, "Oh well, I don't even know what it was. It might have been a 650 or something, or 750." And I used to take the carburetor off, 390, whole deal. Go into the feature that night. I remember, I'm just like, because I know how much work we ended up putting in because we torched the clip, bent it over, like we did it. We got it back to what we needed to. And I remember I was under him and I was like, you know what? I ain't lifting. I'm going to go. Like, the hole's here, I'm going in. You lift, you lift, you don't, you don't. And I remember we touched wheels and he ended up going to the fence, and I kept digging. So
yeah, but you also didn't turn the wheel at the end of the straightaway.
Yes, I did.
Oh, come on now.
I did.
We're all friends here. We can be straight.
We are being straight. I could never really intentionally wreck somebody.
Yeah.
I just won't give them that extra inch.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole deal's over, and like Teddy comes out. He goes in the trailer, and they bring the car in or whatever, and he comes out, and I don't even remember what was said. There's a bunch of people around, and when I say a bunch of people, like there's 2 or 3 like people that are there, like on the crew and whatnot. And Teddy goes, he's a good kid, like he's young. That's all he said. Like that's literally all he said. Now, whenever
that's
the
surprising.
people walked up, he's, you know what I mean, like not being disrespectful or like being an asshole running his mouth or anything, but like he didn't say that to the public. You know what I'm saying?
So that's interesting. Okay, so I've had a similar life experience with somebody that's younger than me. Now I would basically do exactly what you just did, but I feel like they're a good kid.
Yep.
But you're not going to cut them any slack, right?
Oh, for sure.
So that's interesting because I'll never get that chance to hear that from him. So Doug Coby,
he would probably never tell you that.
Probably never.
I mean,
I know. But you want to know what?
Yeah.
Like you always want to feel like you earn the respect from your peers, right?
For sure.
So like Reggie Ruggiero, for one, I don't even know, he hasn't ever said anything, but I remember I used to be scared to walk into his shop or just even talk to him because the guy is Reggie Ruggiero. Like he's a modified badass. I used to go to a shop to go get race like parts. He used to carry some fittings and all the stuff because he owned, with Eddie Flemke Raceworks. So I used to walk in there and like, I need this. Like that's it. Like, but I raced kind of against him, but not really. And like he wouldn't really talk to me much. And then 2013, I won that championship with Flamingo. Yeah. And I'd still go there and get parts, and he started, small talk here and there, and it's like, you almost feel like you do, I guess, in a way. So earning, like that to me is earning respect.
It is.
I guess.
It is.
I don't know.
I think it is.
That's what it feels like.
I've had similar conversation with a couple different people, and to me, I think if you look at like Lee Pulliam and Philip Morrison, late model stock world, Philip's the king, and then Lee comes along and he's threatening the throne. And like they had some pretty violent run-ins, 100%. And then after a while, like Philip with all due respect, because like I said, he's the king. Like, he just has to accept that this kid's not going anywhere. He's one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it is with guys coming up in any series for that matter. But
well, that was when so Keith Rocco, we race weekly together,
who's
right?
that?
Yeah. Oh, you're bad. You're terrible.
I'm kidding. I love you, Keith.
Yeah. So Keith, back 2010 actually was the first year that I started racing SK Modifieds, and it was with this new front end. I don't really know exactly what they did, but we came in, we won one race, and then I ran the next year in 2011, and we won like 8 or 9. And Keith had been dominating the SK Modifieds, the whole thing. So when we came in, it was like, I'm younger. The whole, we had that similar, like,
right.
He was prank calling me at night at the end of the year, like the whole thing. I remember it. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
It's similar now. But as we've gotten older, I have a lot of respect for him, what he does with everything he's got going on, because it's a lot of work.
It is.
And to get to the racetrack and do everything you got to do. So I have respect for him. Now, would I lay a Nerf bar to him in a heartbeat, just like he would me? Absolutely. For the win, man.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's about bringing that trophy.
So speaking of Nerf bars, I got a question.
What's a Nerf bar?
I know what they is. Who is the harshest racer you race against as far as door slam, being a bully? I think I know the answer, but I want to hear you say it.
Well, there's 2 of them.
Okay.
Doug Kobe and Bonsignor. They won't even bat it.
Come on now. Be serious.
Ever?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. Teddy and Keith are right there with each other.
Yeah.
They were pretty rough, man. I don't know. That's tough. I feel like all of us are the same, though.
I think so, too. I think there's 1 or 2 that's worse.
Teddy's got the biggest reputation, right? Because he was just totally upfront about it.
Yeah, he did not care.
Hey, man, you're in my way.
You're in my way.
You can move. I'm coming. He never actually wrecked me. Well, actually, I take that back. He has wrecked me a few times. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but one time I do remember. So I remember it was back in whatever year it was. Biggest paying race. It was when Thompson was paying like 30 grand to win that deal. And I'm charging forward, and we had a really good Thompson setup in my father's car, family car. So that money could have been a big deal for us. Yeah, big deal. I remember I sent it in on him, and he, it was one of them deals where you're here, and you're like, well, I'm going to come up. And he was, nah.
No, you're not.
So he let me, but then the next corner, as he let me, he popped me right in the left rear. That thing took off up the hill. I lost like 10 spots. And that was when L.W. Miller and I were like, once I got back there, I had to lay the Nerf bar to him and the whole thing. But it was – but going back to what your question was, back then, the harshest rivalry I've ever had was probably with Keith. Yeah. Because –
locally. Like this BSK stuff.
So I guess I've had a lot of rivalries. But, Doug and I and Justin and I, I think we've all just come to terms.
I don't know that Justin was necessarily a rivalry, right? Like
no, it wasn't a rivalry.
It was a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. But we don't bat an eye.
Yeah, for sure.
If we caught one another and we just, we aren't going to waste time.
But you're not going to put that guy in a position to wreck his race car.
No.
For sure.
We aren't going to we aren't going to wreck you. We're just going to move you out of the way and move on. And that was the respect we had in a way for each other is listen, man, if you catch me and you stick a Nerf bar to me and then you pull away, I was in your way. Ron Silk put it best. There's 3, I'm spinning all over you, man.
You're good.
There's 3 groups out there.
Yeah.
All right. There's the guys that are running top 3. Like if they start in the back, they're just going to carve their way through and get to the front. That is our main goal. Or top 8, and then the 9th through 16th, whatever it is that race, they're just kind of trying to hold their own, and so be it. And then there's 17th to 30th where their agenda's different. They're having fun or whatever it is. Which is, I have a respect for those guys.
I do too, but I just don't understand it.
As I've gotten older, though, somebody like Wade Cole, I appreciate a guy like him because
100%.
Smile on his face, always towing to the racetrack, doing
100%.
whatever he needed to do to get to the racetrack. So that was, I have
Absolutely.
respect for that. But Ronnie
And he
Silk
has the
was the
best
one who
hauler.
said that. And he had the best hauler, for sure. Isn't it funny
Yeah.
how, as we've gotten older, like,
Are you calling me old? What the fuck, Preece?
did you not hear we? I'm almost 30, man.
Yeah, but you're like a superstar race car driver. I'm just like a hillbilly.
You're definitely not a hillbilly.
Yeah. Huh. So
You're a Long Islander.
I'm
You
pretty
gotta
damn
start.
close.
You got to get rid of the accent, though.
Yeah. My accent's a hybrid.
It is a hybrid.
Yeah, I've got some California, some Arkansas, some Long Island.
Yeah. I know where the
Yeah.
Long Island part comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that I think I wanted to ask you about this because I think, I remember New Smyrna this year for Speed Weeks, right? Sitting in the stands, and it was me and Chris Wimmer.
I sucked. That was my worst Speed Weeks in a long time.
You kind of did.
I
but
did. Yep.
I'm going to accept some blame for that, but
No.
well, it's a team effort.
We went through everything.
It's a team effort.
You
but
can continue. Yeah.
I just remember sitting there. So earlier that day, we went to that Deck Down Under.
Yeah.
Really good place. You've been there? Daytona Beach.
Oh,
It's pretty damn cool. But it's a little seafood restaurant. But anyway, so it's me, Chris Wimmer, Chris's wife Jana, her parents, Daniel Hemrick, and his wife Kenzie, right? So we all go to eat, then we go to the racetrack to watch races, right? The tour cars come out, and they're just rolling, and like the fucking grandstands are vibrating. I mean, it's just a different deal. Mm-hmm. And I look at Hemrick, and I'm like, this has to be the coolest race car on the planet. And he's like, I agree. Smiles this big, heads nodding, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
But anyway, the thing that I love about the modifieds still to this day that I think separates them from any other, at this point, it's probably any other asphalt series out there, is the car owners.
Yeah.
You've got Eddie. Mm-hmm. You've got, unfortunately.
Ken Massa, you have Doug now.
100%.
You have Eric Goodale's family.
Russell Goodale's family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like a handful of the, like Sanderson, Eric Sanderson, and Smigs, and these guys have retired the last handful of years. But the fact that these guys are spending their money,
it's their hobby,
and they're not sponsored by corporations. No. Like they're spending their own money that they're earning, and they're putting race car drivers in the seats. Mm-hmm. That to me, that's why that series.
Yeah.
It sucks that it's regional and not
like the World of Outlaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these guys are spending money. They're putting, race car drivers in the seats. They're making the races good because of the drivers, right? You had, for years you had, Smigs, Tenio, Flamingo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Tenio's still part-time. I'm pretty sure that, they just, Bobby Santos, Doug Kobe, Justin Bonstador, myself, Ron Silk.
Ronnie.
Teddy.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Those are 6 drivers that I put against a lot of
100%.
A lot of people.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree totally. I agree totally.
And you and I have these conversations all the time about race car drivers, about, you were there from when I didn't know how to put a damn turn a wedge in a race car to where I learned, and I continue to learn, because I pick everybody's brain, right? For sure. And everything that's going on in this little noggin of how I think a race car should work, and I can't really get it out right, so sometimes it comes out all jumbled up. It's interesting. But going back to what you were saying, I'm very lucky to have grown up in the part of the country that I did. To be able to live, I lived at home for a long time, right? But I was able to be a race car driver, make a living as a race car driver. Yes. It wasn't you know what I mean? You did what you had to do, but I was able to race for Eric Sanderson. Mm-hmm. I currently and still race for Eddie and Connie Partridge, and they're great. Both of those guys, for sure. Both Eric and Eddie are fantastic. Eddie's funny, man. I'll talk to him about Eddie, and
you mean he actually talks to you?
Hell yeah.
Every time I'm around him, he doesn't talk. He's so quiet.
He's funny, man.
He's like 7'2", like this giant dude, like.
Well, so we've had a couple haulers, and we actually got rid of one hauler because it was too short. He had to walk in like that, and I was like, oof, man, I'm sorry. But no, he's one of a kind. Him and Connie are both they just have a passion for racing, and that coming back, like the Northeast, They hire drivers because they want to win.
Because they want to win.
And the cost to race the modifieds are expensive up there, but compared to the numbers that I hear down here and in late models and all that stuff, it's different.
It just costs money to race. It is what it is.
It costs money to race, right? But up there, it's a passion.
Before you get too far carried away, I want to go through. We got this book,
The Soul of Modified.
Soul of Modified, Old Blue.
Yep.
You should go buy a copy.
You should. You can hear about how I missed a shift.
Oh yeah, you missed a shift?
I guess.
Okay. Anyway,
back in my younger days.
Yeah. So yeah, 'cause we're old now. Remember?
Yep.
But anyway, I think that what I wanted to kind of address with this is, so you originally started with your dad's car.
Yep.
As you guys say, your father's car.
2007.
So I have two questions about your father's race car.
A little bit before that, yeah.
Number one, does Jeff Preece still have a flip phone?
No.
Are you sure?
Jeff Preece does not. But I just remember the first time we ever put JRIs on his car.
He called me and we
were like, this thing's going to...
Hello!
Yeah. It was a black Sprint, whatever phone, right?
Hello, the Nextel, like the walkie-talkie one. Yeah, he's like screaming at people on it. Yeah.
I wish I could get one. Yeah. I really would go back to that if I could.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
But yeah. Oh no, he still screams at the phone though. I can tell you that. I talk to him a lot,
Yeah.
And he loves racing, man.
Oh, I know.
He's the one who gave me the passion for it.
For sure.
Did you ever hear that story about when I was sitting on the back of the hauler back when I was like 17, 18? He made me get up and pick trash off the ground.
No.
Because he didn't want to see me sitting down.
Really?
100%. My dad was a hard ass.
Oh, I know. He still is.
Yeah, he is. But that's what made me who I am today.
I think you're from the outside looking in, like, obviously you have a whole different relationship / know him way more than I do, but from the outside looking in, like, your father is what a father needs to be. Mm-hmm. Like, he's on your ass. Like, like you are not getting a fucking break.
I used to be scared to sleep past 8. Like, I can't sleep past 8 o'clock. Like, I know some people like to sleep in, I try calling you at 7 in the morning.
Don't call me at 7 in the morning.
Actually, you threw up some Instagram posts the other day, and I was like, it's 8:30. What's he doing now?
I know, right?
Yeah. But, no, for sure. My dad's made me who, I've said this in the past, but, like, he's made me who I am today.
100% agree.
Hate getting all whatever.
Yeah, no, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, he is, because he was on my ass.
Yep.
He made me understand what it took to be a race car driver. You know what I mean? Not only driving. I learned that whole side of things kind of from all my life experiences. But I used to watch him set a race car up. I was paying attention, even though I wasn't saying things. Like, I was paying attention. And obviously listening to guys like you, Bono, Gary Putnam, Tommy Baldwin. Like, I was lucky enough to where I got the variety pack of everything going on. I didn't just get the
some
modified
studs.
pack.
Yeah, some good dudes.
Exactly. So, and I continue to learn to this day, and I'm exposed to a lot of different things. So it constantly is changing the way I think about a race car.
So this may send you down a mushy path, but
nice.
I remember I was trying to remember earlier the timeline of when this conversation happened, and I just don't remember. I remember I want to say this was when you were driving the first Busch car. Timeline wise.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting there talking, and I'm like Ryan, what's your goal? Like, what do you want to do? And you looked at me as straight face as you could be, and you said, I want to make my father proud of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
No reason to be mushy, but
I
thought that was pretty badass.
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's your parents, they want the dream as much as you do, but at the end of the day, if you want to succeed, you got to want it as much as they do.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that's where I think you see those type of things weed themselves out.
Absolutely. Let's do a question. Okay. How about that? You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do
pick one.
Pick one?
Yeah. Let's pick one.
You don't want to pick one? All right. You ready? It's like me when I hold on. I got to do it like
no. You already picked one.
Hey, when I pick, hold on. There's a story to this. Chill out.
Is this when you pick your starting spot?
When you go to open shows, you got to grab like 3 of them. Here, we'll do one.
All right. Who was your favorite driver growing up? That damn Marvin Bateman. Marvin, why you keep sending in questions? Get better.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Who
sorry.
was your favorite driver growing up? You can say shit. It's fine. We do that.
It's interesting. So what are we talking? We talking Cup? No. These things.
Fuck no, we're not talking Cup.
Well, I mean, you're talking about at the platform of racing. I mean, I got Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick. Those are like those are my Cup ones. So I may be from the Northeast, but I was a huge USAC fan. Like growing up, you know, when you grow
So your
up.
favorite driver is Bobby Santos?
Nope, it was Dave Steele.
Oh yeah, that's
Swear
a
to
good
God,
one.
Man of
That's
Steel.
a good one.
So every year, I remember at New Smyrna, we used to go to the World Series asphalt deal. I've been going there for many years, and he used to show up with that 91 Superman Gold Leaf beautiful race car and go wax everyone's butt.
Yeah.
Like, that thing was fast, and I was like, man, I want to race one of those one day.
Yeah.
And just knowing his background, like, all the races he won. Actually, I ran a Kenyan midget, like 2003, 2004, whatever it was. And I won that night, but he was there with USAC regional midget race.
Okay.
I'm sure he was doing like a test and tune something. I saw him working on his own race car that night, and that was kind of like the inspiration to So
that's pretty cool.
that was the first night I ever watched him, you know, back in the day. So
yeah,
it was
I
cool.
got you.
Yeah.
I remember watching like what was it, Thursday Night Thunder or whatever.
Yeah.
TNN or whatever it was, right? Yep. My brother was like the biggest Mike Bliss fan in the world. He was a badass in that deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all these guys we're
cool
talking
stuff.
about can fab and do all these things.
They build whatever they
can
want.
build race
Yeah,
cars.
like they're the guys.
They're racers.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, here we go. This word.
Here we go.
Well, I know.
No,
I know.
But, you know, sitting back
Man,
and
we
thinking
just missed that.
Yeah.
Like, people miss the boat now.
You know what? So whenever I go home, I go up north. There was guys that had they were. I just remember, you know, if you walked into a race shop, you would hear old school music, Metallica or whatever it was, Motley Crue. You know, that reminds me. That's my, you know, when I grew up, Tom Petty, all those guys. So like, there's guys in our town, Pryor Brothers. They're fabricators, but they built their own late model chassis back in the day. I remember walking into their fab shop, into their shop, was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, yeah. Me and Dad are going to go over there and, you know, do whatever we had to do. So I was like, that was the start of what I molded, or, you know, what was molded in my head as what a racer was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my father and the
100%,
Pryors,
100%.
and then Reggie and all these guys, like, they were constantly thinking about how to make a car better.
Yeah.
And they would do these things. So that to me is like what a racer is. A racer's not just holding a steering wheel and going fast.
For sure.
Because speed is built in the shop
100%.
at the end of the day. I mean,
again, it goes back to the podcast we did, the first one with Dylan. Yeah. Whenever we talked about you and doing the one bush car and then going to another, like the equipment is everything.
It's huge. Absolutely.
The equipment is everything. The equipment is built at the shop.
I think you said it doesn't get as much credit as it should, right?
Not even close.
Yeah, no, like that's what I think a racer is. It's just I think a racer badass.
Yeah. So I have a question, actually, speaking of the racer part. And this is my own question. It's not out of here. And I actually just thought of it as you were talking about that. But obviously,
get it out, son.
I'm working on it, motherfucker. Obviously, you ran some bush races, you ran some cup races, you obviously ran some modified stuff, SK stuff. You've done a lot of stuff in the Northeast. If you could drive any one car,
Silver Crown, or a sprint car, asphalt sprint car,
where would you want to race
IRP,
it at?
ORP, any day of the week.
Man, that's awesome.
Yep, 100%. So actually, growing up as a kid, we used to go to Indy racing quarter midgets, and I remember this. We went to ORP or IRP, forever IRP, to watch the I think it was sprint cars that night.
Yeah.
But we went and watched that night, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I have the utmost respect for those guys.
Yeah.
Just badasses.
So when you race quarter midget, is that how you met Tyler?
Yeah.
Tanner.
Absolutely. 100%.
For those who don't know, Tyler Tanner's in the shop right now. You can go on Facebook and buy some Tyler Tanner t-shirts. So the question is, if you could go head to head with Kyle Larson or Wordavola sprint car, would you? And the answer is yes, because you're a racer.
Yeah.
In the World of Outlaw Sprint Car.
I would love to race a World of Outlaw.
The real question is...
I don't know how good I would be at dirt, but...
The real question is this. The reason we didn't put that in there because I know the answer, right? Anybody that's a racer is going to say yes. Mm-hmm. The real question is Kyle Larson willing to go head-to-head
he already did.
with Ryan Preece, Justin Bonsignor, and Doug Coby in a modified?
He has at Daytona. Even though that was like...
That doesn't count?
That does not count.
It has to be Stafford or Thompson.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Riverhead or Monadnock.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Uh-huh. You want to talk about getting the Mad Dog. So that place... I always talk about... So, like... I keep telling Eddie, I'm like, hey, man, you need to start a new modified division with 900 horsepower. Like,
absolutely.
Bring the power back to the modifieds.
Absolutely.
Like, we aren't underpowered. Like, don't get me wrong. It takes 20 minutes for the power to show up with those tires. But once those things start getting loose, you're sideways. Like, you're hanging on, you're driving, the whole thing.
And
so,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
And the Mad Dog has the best beer garden.
I wouldn't know. Usually I'm racing.
Yeah, I know, but I do know. They have the best beer garden.
Yeah, they seem like they do. That's the closest you're going to get to Bowman Gray. Bowman Gray, I mean, you're only an hour and a half away from their beer garden.
Yeah, but I've never been there for a race.
You've never been there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Connecticut.
No. Oh, okay. I've been there for testing.
Oh, okay.
You've never been there for a race? I went for the tour race.
Yes, you did.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lied. Damn it, I've been lying this whole time.
Yeah.
Shit. What about old Big Lloyd spotting for you that day?
Yep.
That was badass, wasn't it?
Somehow, I think it was a longtime crew member of mine, Mike German.
Yeah.
We had this doll that somehow we got it at a gas station on the trip down to Bowman Gray because we raced at Stafford the night before and drove 12 hours, didn't sleep, just digging.
I remember
we had a van. It was a Gladiator. It was a Gladiator 3500. Like, this thing was like, you saw it on the side of the road, you were like, what's going on there? Like, but we drove down that night. We stopped at some gas station, got this little doll that looked like Albert Einstein. Like, and we put it in Lloyd's backpack.
Nice.
And he spotted that night. And I'm pretty sure, did we win?
Yeah.
I think we won. I don't know.
I think
came close a couple
Myers
times.
Guy finished second.
Yeah.
In Victor Lane, he's like,
I remember.
In Victor Lane, he's like, I think I could have had something for him. I'm like, no, you couldn't have.
That was when I kept throwing
Not
dirt
today,
off
son.
Getting into 3, I kept throwing dirt up, hooking the left front off the apron. It's funny how you remember things like this years later. But the reason I say was that the year I won, it was because I remember George Brunholzl was really fast there.
Yeah.
And I got by him. We got the lead, and then he moved me out of the way, and then I kept restarting in the outside and finished like second or third. Or maybe even Andy might have wrecked me that night. I don't know.
Who's Andy? Andy was here last time?
Yeah.
Oh. The problem is Andy doesn't have enough Metallica in the shop. That's the problem.
That's right. Or Motley Crue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like elevator music.
I'm telling you, though, if you work in a race shop and you don't have some old school rock on, you ain't racing.
Or some old school anything, for that matter.
Like, doing stuff like this reminds me of everything. Reminds me of where... Just those moments that, like, sitting here, sitting whatever, you can't remember, but now you're talking about these things, and I'm like, man, I remember leaving Charleston, Mass. At 3 in the morning and getting pulled over by an officer because he probably thought I was drunk, but I had an ice cream cone. And I got a ticket for having an ice cream.
Nice.
Swear to God. But those late nights in the shop, doing whatever you need to do, that's what a racer is.
Absolutely.
So it's just like I constantly want to remind the short track community that, like, that it's still there.
It's still there.
You know what I mean?
And they need to be promoting it, right?
For sure.
And these young kids need to be, they need to be learning it, right?
100%.
So let's go back to, I want to talk about your transition from your father's car to the Bowler car.
It's been like 40 minutes and we're just breaking into 2008.
I know, right?
Holy hell.
No, we're going to do a rewind because I feel like there was, I don't know how, so you ended up Flamingo.
Yeah.
Right? And then I feel like
it's where things took off.
I feel like the transition from Flamingo, like, my favorite thing about you as a racer is that you're willing to bet on yourself any day of the week.
Yeah.
And I feel like your first bet on yourself was the transition from Flamingo to Eddie. Mm-hmm. Tell us how that went down.
That was just a tough situation. So Flamingo basically ran the tour. That was all they really ran.
Yep.
They all, that's what it was. And I'm a racer.
Yeah.
I was racing SK modifieds, Sunoco modifieds. I
Yep.
was racing 3-4 times a week, and I wanted to race more. And I remember I got the call in September at some point, like, hey, or maybe it was October. I think him and Ronnie were already kind of going to part ways at that point. And he was like, hey, what are your options? What are you doing for next year? Maybe we could work something out, whatever. I remember I went to Eric. I said, hey, there's 3 things I want, to have something different. And, I understood where Eric stood on those things. And I said, okay, well, I think I'm going to go take this other option and go there. And that's kind of how the relationship started with Eddie and I, because Eric was fantastic. Nothing but great to me. 2011, I had nothing. And then Mike ended up leaving. I got that one race at the World Series, got the pole, fast in practice, and I think we dropped a cylinder or something in the race, which ended up leading a conversation. I remember the Monday after that, I went up there and I was like, man, I was happy that I'm picking shit. Right. Like, because I'm going to race for somebody, not bringing $1. Like, the guy loves racing.
He does.
So it was tough to leave, but at the same time, it was an opportunity for me to race more. Yeah. And not just the wheel modified tour. Like, we're talking open shows, we're talking MRS, we're talking like everything the modifieds have. So, and I still 6 years or five or 6 years later, I'm with Eddie still. I race with him. He's very loyal. Both
it's
of
also
them, Eddie and Connie.
It's also a big transition. It's not necessarily a big transition, but it's a transition into like it's Eddie Partridge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Yeah, you see him, like, you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So then I know, right? Like this tall, but so you go into that, like you go there, you have pretty immediate success.
We had immediate success. We killed New Smyrna.
Yeah.
So that was with the TA2. I'm pretty sure that was with the 4-link car. We went to New Smyrna, won 4 out of 5 nights. I remember the big thing was that thing only lasted for 30 laps, whatever. Tommy Tommy is one of the hardest work. Tommy Grasso is one of the hardest working guys I've ever met in my life.
I agree with that.
And
totally.
to this day, getting older, I respect the hell out of him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we won a lot of. I'm pretty sure that was one of the most dominant years at Stafford I had. Yeah. Running with him. We struggled at Thompson a little bit, but we won races. He's a hardworking guy. Is. So, and I'm pretty sure he does a really good job for Sapp. Dave Sapp.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, he's doing Sapp still now. Sapp runs good all the time.
So funny. It was at Jennerstown. Sapp was going to win that race, and I was screaming for him. Rode him out of the way. Just, how all us modified guys are. Yeah. But,
give him a Nerf bar.
To this day, I root for Sapp sometimes, because of Tommy. Tommy's a great guy.
Tommy's
and his brother,
golden,
too.
Man,
so.
Golden people.
And I'm not just saying that right now because we're on camera.
Oh,
I genuinely mean it. So, but it's, racing for Eddie has been an honor. So the moment we moved down south and we went part-time, that's when we kind of moved everything to my father's shop. And, when I went up there, me and my dad would set it up. And
Eddie's stuff, you mean?
Eddie's stuff.
Yep.
So back in 2017, when I moved home, I said to Eddie, I'll take over full-time. I work full-time. I need a job.
Right.
And he took that opportunity. I remember my father was are you capable of this? Just like any other kid.
Right.
If it's your kid, you're always going to, be hard on them.
Yeah.
I don't think my father thought I was capable of it. I remember the first New Smyrna we went through. We won the championship and won one race, but it didn't go as good as it probably should have. And Eddie believed in me. We went and we ended up having the best year I've ever had in my life.
So I'm going to explain this a different way.
Okay.
You weren't capable.
I was not, but I figured it out.
100%. You busted your ass and you figured out you believed in yourself. Yeah. Again, you bet on yourself. And you've done that a few times throughout your career.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that I've always looked up to. Eddie believed in you, right? So I was willing to spend the money, whatever it was, right? Yeah. So anyway, from there.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, I remember, so funny story. I went up to Troy Race Cars and like I remember I was trying to help him put a brake, not a bias, brake, the pedal assembly in. And I had it in upside down. I was trying to put it in upside down and I'm just like, figure it out until you figure it out. Like do it until you figure it out. So it was just one of those things you learn as you go. And
for sure.
Like now I can build a race car, no problem. But like when you're younger, you're like, I want to do this. Well, figure it the hell out, So just, but yeah, that's kind of how things went. And it's, to this day, I'm still figuring stuff out.
So I know we like to talk about modified racing and this and that, but I want to hear you tell me, like, what's it like to drive for Joe Gibbs? He's a legendary guy, football guy, racing guy, like.
No, I remember I snuck up into his office. I kind of scattered on up there. Yeah, no, that was back, way back when I was trying to figure out everything in my life. And I remember he gave me a book, Game Plan for Life, right?
Oh yeah, I've read that book.
So
it's a great book. You should go buy it.
I read it on a plane on the way down.
Really?
It was before Kentucky. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's funny how some things are similar yet different. Just how all our lives, all our paths, everything we do to get to where we are. I remember he said in the book that he drove across, like through a snowstorm, like did what he had to do to go. I'm pretty sure he was interviewing for a job.
Yep. Football job.
Yeah.
Football coach.
Obviously.
Yep.
This is way before the whole race stuff. So there's just a lot of things that I could relate to.
Yeah.
Like doing whatever it took. Like you already know me.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. Like I'll do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as no in my head. Like it's just you do whatever it has to take, which is very similar to what I'm currently at right now. Like Tad and Jody, they do whatever it takes too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're it was just definitely eye-opening reading that book and being able to relate to so many different things. And I'm sure, you have your own story, which I'm sure maybe one day we'll hear when you have about a 30 rack of beers with Brannon. About how I want to know one day, maybe when we go drinking, not drinking, when we go eating enough food, I'll be able to hear your story. It is. But you want to know what? To this day,
don't tell nobody though.
So the only thing that I have not attempted to work on is shocks. You know why?
Because you have me. You don't need to.
I trust you.
Yeah.
That is why. When it comes to everything else, I feel like I have to have my hands on it because, and it's something that my father kind of, with the modified, I'm just not OCD, but like, I feel like, if I do it, I can do it good. Right. And not good, I can do it great. Like, I can do it as good as I need to do to win. So that's why I trust you.
I appreciate that. So I know you diverted the question, right? Let's go back to the Coach Gibbs part. Not even Coach Gibbs. Let's talk about Iowa.
Yeah.
How special was that?
It was eye-opening.
Yeah.
I think New Hampshire was eye-opening.
I agree. You ran second to Kyle, right?
Yep. Well, Brad and Kyle had battled all day, so we were really like, it was me and Kyle Larson that were battling for third all day.
Okay.
Byron ended up finishing right behind us. But that was an interesting experience because Chris Gabehart was my crew chief that day.
Oh, Gabehart's a badass.
He is a badass.
He is.
He's funny.
Yeah. Gabehart.
He's somebody that, like, man, I respect the hell out of him.
Oh,
just how smart he is, and him as a race car driver, just a lot of things. But just working with him at New Hampshire, and then I remember we went to the TRD Sim, and I was trying to drive the shit out of it in there, and I remember we kept spinning out. He's like, "Hey," like he basically ended up coaching me.
Nice.
But slow down, like just slow down, do it, whatever. We went there. I mean, he provided a fast race car.
Oh, for sure.
Badass race car. And we went and won. And I actually, you know what? This is funny because maybe a month ago, I'm going to pull this out and you're going to show this. maybe a month ago, I was looking through my old photos, and I'm like, man, like I screenshotted a couple things, and I edited so I could, look at the pictures.
Yeah.
Because I like to look back. Well, right here, which camera do you want me to put it at?
This one.
Right here is Iowa.
Yep.
Right there is Chris Gabehart.
Absolutely.
That guy is a badass. And then another photo that I kept is right there. That one right there from Thompson.
That's badass.
When the sniper got my tire and we spun out and we had to come in and put a tire on. And we ended up winning that race. But
that's awesome.
But Gabehart, he's special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we talk about race car drivers.
He's special. Yeah. Like he's a good driver.
Yeah.
Like he's a good car builder. Like he's a good engineer. Like he's special.
He's pretty cool.
Like Gabehart is like
he's a good person too.
upper 5% in my opinion.
Yeah.
For sure.
5%.
Well,
Who's I want to hear your other who's your other 5%?
Well, I'm saying overall.
Yeah.
Like
and you want to know what? Like I work with Trent Owens and he's freaking awesome too. Like he does a great job.
Yeah, Trent's good.
You know, so it's I've been fortunate enough to work with some great people.
I agree.
For sure. Eric Phillips, I won Bristol with him. He was a great
Eric's
guy.
Big.
Yeah.
Does Eric still have the record in Truck Series, the most wins?
I think he does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He actually, so that's like, you want to talk about a dream team with the 11 right now? Mm-hmm. Like they've actually done a great job. Eric, I'm pretty sure, is the car chief on that with Gabehart.
I tried to get Eric to hire me as a shot guy. He wouldn't do it. Eric, you fucked up. Anyway.
Jeez.
So let's move on from Iowa to Bristol. What was it like to go back the second time and win again? I know what Bristol did for you personally.
The sweet side-by-side.
The side-by-side, the $100,000 bonus. Like, I know what it did for you personally.
I built my first modified off that.
Yeah. Like, I know what it did for you personally. So, like, what was the difference of those two wins?
The first one created hope. The second one created future. That's the best way to put it. You know what I mean?
That's badass.
Yeah. Okay.
That's badass.
That's the truth. I remember leaving Iowa like, man, I've done it all. I figured, or like, I did it. You know what I mean? I won. I did what people said, like some people didn't think I could, and I did. I remember we went to the ale house that night. Me, Gabehart, the entire 20 team. We went and we had beers. Like, we soaked it up like a team. You know what I mean? But after that, weeks after that, I was like, man, I don't know if anything's going to come out. And things did, obviously. It takes time. I'm impatient.
I know. It is what it is.
But then we went to Bristol. We ended up getting that restart. Gabehart took rights with Brannon.
Yeah.
And we started on the front row. And, I'm not somebody who's going to lay down on a restart.
Not at all.
When it comes to restarts, I feel like that's something that I'm usually pretty solid at.
Yeah.
And we took the lead, and Allgaier was right there, and we won that race.
He's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that guy to death.
I haven't really met too many people I don't like, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
I have a long history with Allgaier and his family.
Do you?
So he's a great dude.
He has a shop company too, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
I helped him start that.
Nice.
His dad also bought me my first shock dyno, so it goes hand in hand, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But going back to Bristol, like, I remember doing the half a donut on the front stretch and coming around back trying to get to Victory Lane because I had won at Bristol, but because it rained, I never got to go to Victory Lane. So I got to drive up on the thing. And when I was driving, Kevin Harvick was walking by, came up and gave me knuckles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Well, that was a big day. Like, those are one of those days as a race car driver, like, you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure as shit. When Bristol was all said and done, you go back home, you're working back in the modified shop the next day. You know what I mean? Like, my life, it changed, but it didn't at that point.
But it didn't,
You know what I mean? I kept digging. So, but yeah, that was the day. That was kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it created hope and a future, and then things changed later on that year.
Yeah,
for sure.
I got you.
We're screwed.
All right, let's ask a question. Okay. You want to pick one or you want me to?
You can pick one.
So whoever's question we pick
Yep.
is going to get a free delivery to
We're going to make it
autographed
uh-huh.
Ryan Preece hat.
And a car.
And a car?
And a car.
Like a die-cast car?
A die-cast
or a real car?
Die-cast car.
Die-cast car. All right, let's do
real car.
You sure you don't want to pick?
All right.
You pick it.
Right here. Let's go with that one.
All right. So it says, how did you run out of fuel when we had at least 3 gallons left?
Who's we?
Ken Massa. Oh, Big Papa.
Well, that's interesting. Huh. Should I tell the story right now, or should I explain the fuel thing first?
I don't know, but I think he's going to enjoy his free hat.
He's and car.
Yeah, he's going to wear it.
Yeah.
You think when he's driving to lunch at work every day, he'll have his Ryan Preece diecast on his dash?
You think he'll make it look like his race car did after the Musket 250?
Ooh.
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 It's all right. Gary Putnam's car wasn't looking much better.
I'm going to back out of this one.
Yeah. No. I like Ken a lot.
I do too.
And his crew.
For sure.
And Justin's all right.
They're good
right?
people. Well, yeah,
But,
Justin's kind of a weirdo, but...
No, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I ran out of fuel because we weren't. I like to drive. I drove the car to Tech. I tried to run the car a little bit before, like 2 cars before I had to go.
Yeah.
In qualifying, we
Yeah.
didn't put fuel back in. After qualifying, I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure you can't, but whatever. I didn't shut the car off during the race because I didn't think we were going to be that close. Like,
right.
I figured,
right.
Yeah, we're going to be about a gallon away from running out.
I don't know if there's not, but you were pretty close. Like,
Huh?
you're probably like a lot too close.
A lot too close.
Just saying.
I ran out on lap 149.
Yeah.
I didn't, and technically I crossed the line in pit road, so it would have been 150. So technically my math was correct.
I don't think that's how that works.
We're going to say it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But, that was the hardest loss I've taken in my career, period.
Man, it's pretty stout.
I hate losing.
I know.
More than I love winning.
I know.
That's right.
I know.
So I remember hearing that from you the first time.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. Because it's true. Like, that's what drives you to be better. That's what drives you.
It is.
Some people don't understand. Like, everybody says, well, I want to win. I want to win. Like, there's some serious meaning behind it. When I say I want to win, like, I'll shove somebody out of the way. I'll do whatever it takes.
100%.
Like, I'm not going to wreck somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cost some money, but I'm going to do what I got to do to win. Just like I'm pretty sure everybody feels the same way in this generation. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
So
well, the difference is like you're not like dumping your teammate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're racing hard.
Correct.
You're not if you're Noah Gregson, like, you're not dumping Allgaier to win a race. Like, you're actually racing hard and nerfing the guy out of the way. You know what I mean?
Focus on him during that one.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
it is what it is.
So
one thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
going back to the story of Ken, I like Ken a lot.
Yeah.
After
gonna
the
look really
Musket
good in his
250
Preece hat.
He's going to look. I don't even want to know. So there was Ryan Preece bobbleheads at one point, and I remember him and Stone. They ripped the head off and like did some whole bunch of stuff. But so Ken, after the Musket 250, like Justin and I were the only two that know what happened that day. We could have difference of opinions on it, but we were racing hard for the win.
Yep.
He was blocking for the win. I was planning on going under him, not driving through him. And when my man slammed on the brake to hold the bottom, to protect the bottom like he's supposed to,
I get it.
my right front ended up in the driver compartment, like up on top of him.
Yep.
Did I mean to do it? Absolutely not, because Gary Putnam, that was going to be a good payday.
Yeah, for sure.
For all of us, because there was lap money that day. I think it was $100 a lap. We led like 100-something laps.
Jesus.
I think we were going to make, like, even if we finished second, was going to be like upwards of like 18, 20 grand, whatever it was. And so that wreck, I just told Gary afterwards, I'm like, hey man, just keep whatever my percentage would have been and just fix your race car.
Yeah, just fix it.
And it was a wash, so it was a big wreck.
Yeah.
But I did feel bad because I don't like wrecking race cars. I don't like ending races like that.
Right.
But, I have a lot of respect for guys like Ken because it costs a lot of money to race.
For sure.
And field a competitive race car like Ken does, Eddie does. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Doug Kobe's a car owner now, too.
Sure.
I like to talk to him
For
about.
sure. Hey, Doug, when you're done, who's going to drive your car?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because Justin, Doug, and I all have a group chat that we, usually I'm chiming in during the races and they catch up after the fact. But I said to Doug, I'm like, man, you aren't as aggressive as you used to be. Is it because you have to fix the cars? Like
he has to pay for the bumpers now.
Exact. Well, that was Jennerstown. He hit the wall with the right front. I'm like, oh, Doug, you're gonna spend $120 on a right front wheel. What are you gonna do?
Right.
So
that's funny.
For sure.
So I'm supposed to name my most underrated driver in this podcast, but I'm not going to do that because I'm still studying.
Okay.
But Bobby Santos is definitely in my top 3 or 4.
He's a badass.
He is.
I've always had a huge amount of respect for him and his family.
Sure.
I mean, I've known them for a long time.
I mean, it's kind of weird that he's fucking bald, but, so am I, so.
Jesus, I'm spitting on you again.
So let's do this. Let's answer one more question and get the fuck out of here.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Who else would Ryan like to see in a modified Bubba aside? Did we do this already or no?
No, we didn't.
Dalton Hoyer. Dalton is the kid that works at Racing Radios. Racing Radios is a good company.
I like racing electronics.
I understand. I knew you were going to say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin Hughes, thank you.
Yeah.
Man, I still feel bad.
What's the guy's name that does the racing electronic stuff up north?
Waddell.
Waddell is a madman.
He is a madman. The rat.
Props to you,
Throw
Waddell.
the rat, the cheese. He spots for me whenever I go up home.
Yeah.
So
he's golden, man. He's just fucking intense.
Yeah. He is the man. He is awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? So I could run through that whole practice when Bubba blew up, the whole thing. And going back, I bet you that car, he probably would have ran really good because
I think so.
I could never get my car tight enough during the day to be good at night. We fought a lot of things. And I remember asking him, I'm like, you lose? He's like, no, this thing's tighter than a dump truck. And I'm just like,
right?
Dang it.
Can
man.
we trade?
Yeah. Give me the forward drive. I want the drive. You can have the roll in the center right now. And, God, I feel so bad to this day.
So I think you guys need to make a deal. I think you need to be able to run Bubba's late model at Cordele for Speed Fest, and then Bubba run your modified at New Smyrna for Speed Weeks, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, one thing he did say too is he expected it to have more power, right?
Yeah.
We got to bring him to a short track.
Yes.
Where you actually feel it.
Yeah.
And that was another thing is you aren't going to feel it at New Smyrna until you're about 15 laps in.
Right.
When you're starting to stagger the whole thing.
When she's sliding around.
When she's sliding around, it's a little bit more of a handful.
I think we need to make this deal.
Yeah.
Bubba Pollard, put Ryan Preece in the car for Speed Fest.
Yeah.
Ryan Preece put Bubba Pollard in the car for New Smyrna.
With a motor
Let's figure this out.
God,
I think it's a good deal.
I think it's a good deal.
You want to run a Super, right?
Huh?
You want to run a Super, right?
I have run a Super.
Well, I'm saying you want to do it this time.
Let's do it. Win in a Super? Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Who would it be?
I don't know, man. That's tough. Are we talking short track level or cup level? I mean, I'd put Kevin Harvick in my modified in a heartbeat, in a race.
Oh, here we go, this bullshit. He's already been in your modified. It don't count.
I know.
You're trying to get his sponsorship money, you fuck. Thought we were friends here.
Yeah. No, you know what?
You already said Bobby Santos.
Shut
you
up.
Can't go back now.
Well, I thought we were talking about somebody different because we already said Bobby. I mean, he's been in a modified.
Yeah.
You know who I'd like to see? Because somebody who, Bobby's had a rivalry, in a way, if you look at out there, Cody Swanson, I think it is, the one who wins all those sprint car and Silver Crown races with Bob, they run 1 and 2, they're always fighting each other. He'd be somebody I'd like to see.
I agree with that totally. And he's got a brother too, I think, but I think Cody's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a valid point. And I think it's something that people wouldn't expect you to say, right?
Why? Because I'm not from that part of the country?
Well, just because, like, you know, people don't pay attention to different regions. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I would definitely think that.
I think
yet,
that's. But yeah.
I think that would be a good suggestion.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
Whatever, you know, but
it wouldn't be what you'd expect.
You caught me off guard when you said that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why, who would you think I would say?
Well, I don't know that I had anybody in mind, but I just like I
mean,
wouldn't have expected that. I didn't expect it, but I agree with it.
Yeah.
I think it's valid.
So when I think across the country, I think like he's somebody.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like when I thought about all the drivers that I've seen, I would say Bubba Pollard, Bobby, Cody Swanson, Ty Majeski. I tried to get him to practice at one time. He wouldn't do it. And there was one other. I forgot who it was. But, like, those are the ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Man, I'm really surprised you said Cody Swanson, but I 1,000% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know why? I talk to Bobby about this all the time. Like, the way his car drives like a modified. Like, it's good into the center. You pick up the throttle, it drives off.
Yeah.
Cuts and drives. I'm like, dude, you got to stop trying to just roll on the right rear. You need to fix your shit.
So we're going to get the fuck out of here, right?
Okay.
My question.
Good, because the lady at the fajita place said 15 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, your personal favorite win of your career?
Oof, that's tough, man. The generic answer could be Iowa, right?
We don't give a fuck about the generic
answer. But my real answer is when I won. So there was a race at Monadnock. It was a MTS race. It was like some whatever series. It was 15
the Winchester 200 or whatever.
I won a rifle that day. But the reason it's my favorite win is because I went there without my father. I went there by myself with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, all the people that are close to me, and I won.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up the next day, and my father was proud of me. Like, my mother is the one who told me. She's like,
because Jeff wouldn't say that out loud.
Well, he's
too stubborn. Not stubborn, but he's too old school, you know?
Yeah, he's old school.
Pops.
But, like, you could tell, like, because I had to earn his respect. Like, it wasn't just going to be given to me. And I remember I won, and my mother looked at me the next day. She's like, I just want to let you know your father is proud of you. Like, I'm like, if anybody who knows my dad, like, if you 100%. Earn his respect in that manner,
100%.
It's a big deal. Like, that's a big deal
I agree,
to me.
Totally.
I'm almost 30 years old, and that was X amount of years ago. Like, that's a big deal. So that was really cool. And obviously, going back to what you said earlier, like, you just want to make him proud, right? You don't want to make it. You don't want to do your parents wrong. That literally
could not have been a better answer.
Yeah. So
that could not have been a better answer.
That was the biggest win of my career. Or not biggest win, but like to me.
To you personally, which is what I care about, right?
Yep. Making the calls. Thank you for being here. Doing everything. Thanks for having me. Come on, let's tap beers. Natty Light.
Let's do it.
Natural Light.
That's a badass story, man.